our next lesson. We thought we would try beta again today, but at the last minute I said, let's work with alpha, and then next time we'll work with beta again. So he gave us a little trouble with the saddle. Do you happen to know why? Do you have a guess, Tavis?
Just touching underneath his belly.
Just desensitization underneath his belly. Okay, but we have a plastic bag now filled with a couple logs. We're going to put them on top of the saddle to add a little more weight. Remember, we're trying to get these two boys ready for riding by children. And I'm in the process of creating a camp for children and families involving a service by my sanctuary animals, my camelids, my equines, perhaps bovines. We're just doing this one step at a time. But I do have two very beautiful ranches, very nicely located for families to do camping and to be having activities with large farm animals. Not just horses, not just alpacas, but any large farm animal that is accepted into my sanctuary that can be handled by families and children. Alpha's being better now. He's a little bit hesitant, I can tell by his body language. Not sure what Tavis is doing. And I'm not sure either, but I'm sure Tavis knows what he's trying to do. Let me go closer with the camera. We've got a knot or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to try to not to cut it. So
it is surprisingly warmer today than I thought it would be. There we go. Oh, you took the toy off. I get it. Yeah. That was just to give the boys and the viewer an understanding that something was going to be in the saddle. I would move that saddle a little bit. Well, maybe not, because you're going to put the weight on his neck, huh? Yeah, it's a little bit farther back than I would want it to be for just a plain old trail ride. Remember that alpacas are said to be sound to give rides to children under 100 pounds. So that's what we're aiming for. Oh, that's good. And it looks pretty solid, like it's not going to slip off with the wood weight on either side of the saddle. And then Tavis, as we walk, add some more weight like you did with beta last time, with your body weight, with your arms.
okay.
Oh, that looks good. Yeah, that looks really good. We added holes to the saddle so that it's tighter cinched under his belly. Take out an arm extension just in case you want to touch him where we think he might be sensitive, so we can desensitize him to it. He knows to follow Tavis, I can tell. And Beta's behind me. Beta's gonna watch. And I think Beta will learn by just watching. And I'm the urban alpaca girl, Sonia Sokolow, walking along with my camera on uneven ground, so I'm going to be very careful to hold on as I'm walking, trying to keep the alpaca boys in view of the camera. And remember, we have tie rings here. We like to tie to tie rings rather than fence panels. I think Tavis is thinking about tying to one of the tie rings. We do it with slip knots so that it's easy to untie if we have to. He looks very good. One ear is forward, one ear is backward. I can tell he's not super stressed or anything. He's got that extra weight. We can actually maybe figure out how to just that same way, but with something heavier than logs on each side. We'll see. One step at a time. One lesson at a time. Yeah, and Tavis is putting some weight in the saddle with his hand. So he's not seemingly sensitive to the weight on his back. But what if somebody were riding and touched their heel on his back left hip? See if you can, while he's tied, he's going around, touch him. Desensitize him. No issues with the upper hip. Oh, yes, a little bit of an issue. I'm going to go forward here so we can get a better camera view. And we are going to, I hope, go into the back pasture, then into the big pasture. Our last lesson was less than 25 minutes. I'm okay on that today, too, if there are no issues that require a longer training session. Both ears are back right now. He's trying to figure out what Tavis is doing. And here's Beta watching and watching me as well. They've been out in the big pasture for several hours already this morning. So far, I'm glad to say we haven't had any pullback issues on our tie rings. Beta's kind of looking around instead of watching Alpha. Maybe he's bored because Alpha's being so good. Now we're going to touch him where somebody might touch him if they were in the saddle. And remember, we were having lower leg sensitivity issues when we were doing pull training, and we're going to continue to do it. As a matter of fact, we might do some pull training with the saddle on. I'm not in a rush, but I do know where I want to go. And I want to be able to provide a service to my community of families that have children that I'm sure will enjoy being around my farm animal in my sanctuary. And I am a large farm animal sanctuary, so alpacas qualify, horses qualify, bovines qualify, and I do have a lot of experience with mini bovines in the past and Morgan horses in the past. Looks like he's gonna want to tighten it up a little bit. You know, next time we'll do a neck rope connected to the saddle to keep the saddle where it is, and a butt rope connected to the saddle to keep the saddle where it is relative to his tail. I've seen that on YouTube videos with llamas, alpacas. I'll make these videos available to anybody who wants to come to my camp so that they can see how we've prepared for activities that are beneficial to the community involving my sanctuary animals. Donations will be requested for attending the camp. All aspects of the camp operation will be done with required permits. Looks like we're gonna go for a walk pretty soon. Now, I've seen kids in the saddle with alpacas where there was a lead line being used to go for the walk with the alpacas and their riders. And of course, we'll do that first, but with repetition, perhaps we can allow the rider to give the direction and make the choices where to go for a walk or a ride. And remember, here at the ranchos, I have 20 lineal miles of trails throughout the ranches here where there are access for the public, but no motor vehicles. So we have a unique opportunity here to do some trail riding without worrying about cars, motorcycles, or any such other motor vehicle spooking the animals or trying to get by them or pushing them to go faster. Alpha's looking very relaxed. Being curious, though, being careful. Remember, they're prey animals. So I think prey animals kind of always get ready for just in case situations. As a matter of fact, this morning on my neighborhood HOA electronic newsletter, a neighbor in Grass Valley, and this is Auburn, not Grass Valley, but in Nevada County, said that there was a bear on her property all night long trying to get to whatever she was housing there. Beta did the same thing when Tavis reminded Beta that there's a water container there, stuck his leg into it. And notice that Beta's coming along with us. It's his choice. And I kind of knew he would. Now, can you picture your child on Alpha's back, riding out here in this big pasture, which is irrigated, which is enclosed by finish line fencing through railroad tie posts. And outside of those railroad tie posts, everywhere where you can see, there is access to the trails that go throughout the rancho's location. All properties in the ranchos must allow these trails to remain open around their properties. They're both walking very calmly into the central area of the pasture. Because we're almost in the middle of summer, it looks like some of my green grass needs more water, but I don't have my extra storage tank yet in order to increase irrigation, but I will. I will, as soon as I can afford it, I will do so, because I consider green grass extremely important for the keeping of large farm animals. Looks like Beta got distracted by some yummy green grass out there, but I'm pretty sure he'll come back and follow Alpha. I'm trying to close the chain here. Every time I have panels connected to each other, for whatever reason, I always have, I'm sorry, the camera is not steady right now, but I'm going to chain this because I noticed it wasn't chained. Okay. His ears are perfectly normal. He's looking around. He's walking very nicely. Beta is following him. So our next objective, we always like to look ahead at what we might do next, is to make the bag on top of the saddle a little heavier, trying to get closer to, let's say, 50 or 60 pounds. Repetition in lead line walking. Back to the, yes, and in he goes with both front legs now. And here comes Beta. Beta came trotting over. Looks like Alpha might even want to put his back two legs in. It's his choice. Okay, now let's see if Beta chooses to do it too, or is he just going to follow Alpha home to the training area? No, Beta got distracted. We're desensitizing Alpha to being touched behind his tail connection. After we've done this on both alpacas, Alpha and Beta, with enough repetition that we are confident they're pretty desensitized, we'll start going out the gate, down the public trail in the ranchos, so they can do all of this with the kind of distractions that might occur on neighboring ranches. Horses, dogs barking at the gate. Alpha went right into shed 3. No issues. See, this is actually a water tub. There's our play tub. But if they want to step into their water tub, I'm okay on it. Now Beta's drinking. We try to keep the water very clear, because that's very important for alpacas, is to have clear, good water. Okay, before our next lesson, I'll be thinking about straps that go around the neck to the saddle and under the tail to the saddle to make sure that the saddle stays approximately where we want it to stay with the weight on it, the weight being at first inanimate objects and later children under 100 pounds. And we'll see if there are any issues taking the saddle off. There was a little bit of an issue putting the saddle on this time. That's why I wanted to do Alpha this time. I want to give both boys the opportunity to practice on a regular schedule. But right now we don't have enough volunteers to do training with both boys saddled up. I do have another saddle that I'll bring from my other sanctuary ranch that's lightweight. It's a leather saddle, but I'm confident that it's not too heavy for alpacas. We'll have 2 saddles. We already have 2 halters. They're both halter trained, but we need another volunteer to help tack them up and walk them around. I have another such saddle pad like the one you see on Alpha right now. I'll bring them both before our next lesson. The lighter weight saddle and another saddle pad similar to this one. Beta is definitely watching Alpha. Neither of them look the least bit concerned. I know that Alpha is aware that that panel would be open soon and he'll be able to leave the tacking area and join his buddy Beta here in the training area. And Beta sees that Alpha is now out of the training area. We'll be opening the gates and putting our tack away. And if you subscribe, you'll find out when this video is uploaded. And if you have any comments, you can make the comments on the video itself on YouTube, or you can email me, the Urban Alpaca Girl, SoniaSokolow@gmail.com. Goodbye for now.